Hi, good afternoon. It's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we'll join Volusia Here and Now reporter Joanne Magley for a peek into the newest upgrades at the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. Then it's over to health reporter Stephanie Strong for a report from the Volusia County Health Department. And finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio for a chat with Sheriff Ben Johnson. Those segments, news, and more coming up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Volusia County's trail system has grown by another leap and bound with the addition of the first segment of the East Central Regional Rail Trail in West Volusia. The Volusia County Council will celebrate with a ribbon cutting ceremony at 10 a.m. Saturday, February 25th at the intersection of Perimeter Drive and Providence Boulevard in Deltona. The trail entrance is near the beautiful new Thornby Park. Attendees can bring walking shoes, inline skates, or bikes and experience the 5.7-mile trail segment, which runs through wooded areas to State Road 415 in Osteen. The Volusia Transportation Planning Organization will give bicycle helmets to the first 100 people who arrive at the event. Pat Northey, District 5 representative to the Volusia County Council, is a longtime proponent of the trails.
We're going to be cutting the ribbon on the first 6 miles of the East Central Florida Rail Trail. This is a historic old rail alignment that the state purchased, and the counties of Brevard and Volusia said they would build and maintain this trail. It will run from Providence Boulevard in Deltona all the way over to Edgewater, and then south in, there's a spur that goes south into Brevard County. So it's a 2-county trail. That trail was just designated as part of America's Great Outdoors initiative that was announced by Interior Secretary Ken Salazar out of Washington. Now what does that mean? That means that we're tying in Deltona to Titusville in an economic, nature-based model that will not only provide recreation value for the neighborhoods, but will provide economic value to the biking community that comes in, spends lots of dollars on these long trails. You need about 50 miles of trail on the ground to make sure that the bikers have a really great ride. They come, they spend money, they buy bikes, they buy bike equipment. This is a real economic, nature-based initiative for Volusia and Brevard County, and we're really excited about it.
The new trail segment is 12 feet wide and is accessible to walkers, joggers, bicyclists, inline skaters, and people with disabilities. Rest stops are provided along the way with benches and trash cans. Funding for the $2 million segment included an $800,000 federal grant, a $600,000 Volusia Eco grant, and $600,000 from the county's Trails Fund. Construction on the next phase will include a pedestrian bridge over State Road 415 and is expected to begin this summer. The rail trail is part of Volusia County's growing trail system, which also includes 2 trails along A1A that total 9.5 miles, more than 35 miles of beach, and the Spring to Spring Trail in West Volusia County. The Spring to Spring Trail is a work in progress with new segments being added each year. When complete, it will stretch 26 miles from Gemini Springs Park to De Leon Springs State Park and will connect with the rail trail. For more information, go to volusia.org and select Trails from the drop-down menu. Volunteers are needed to help keep the St. Johns River beautiful. In conjunction with National River Cleanup Week, the next St. Johns River Cleanup will begin at 8 a.m. Saturday, March 17th. Boaters, scouts, civic organizations, environmental groups, business and individual volunteers are encouraged to help clean the St. Johns River by removing trash and debris. Tom Carey of Volusia County Environmental Management says the annual cleanup day is good for the environment and it's a great way to enjoy the outdoors with some quality volunteer work.
We want to clean it up not only for people to enjoy, but also for animals. A lot of the trash that we pull out of the river are a big danger to the health of wildlife. There's plastic bags, 6-pack can holders, even fishing nets that have been discarded can trap animals in it and drown them. And so it's a good idea to clean up the river for the sake of both humans and for animal life. We make it easy on folks who want to participate, our volunteers, in that we have 8 points along the river from Pearson all the way down to the Lake Harney area and in between, so people can register and go to a point on the river that's convenient to them where they might live and go ahead and help them clean up the river.
Plastic bags and gloves will be supplied at each site. Volunteers should wear a hat, comfortable clothing, and closed-toed shoes. Bring work gloves, sunblock, and a bottled water to drink. Rakes, shovels, and trash grabbers may be helpful, but they're not necessary. Volunteers with vessels who can get onto the river are welcome too. Tires, white goods such as appliances and electronics, and hazardous waste will be piled separately from the other trash. Pre-registered participants will receive a free t-shirt.
This is the shirt that we're going to be giving away this year. And like I said, if you pre-register, here's the shirt. It's got an otter on the back. And since it's on St. Patrick's Day, we've kind of thrown a shamrock on the sleeve for a little bit of good luck. So hopefully we'll have good luck cleaning up the river this year and do a real good job of it.
To sign up for the river cleanup, visit volusia.org/cleanup and click on the St. Johns River Cleanup logo. For more information, you can call 386-736-5927, extension 12424. It's that time of year. Applications are now being accepted for the 2012 Citizens Academy, a fun, hands-on awareness program designed to educate and inform citizens about Volusia County government operations. The Citizens Academy curriculum offers a wide range of seminars and workshops featuring the inner workings of Volusia County government. Topics include elections, growth management, community services, public protection, property assessments, budgets, and more.
And I would encourage anyone who's got an interest in the county, whether it just be because you pay taxes here or whether you want to get more involved, to be a part of the Citizens Academy, because it was a great, wonderful event to be a part of and to learn from. And had a chance to learn where our tax dollars go, how well they're spent, and how diligently the County of Volusia works to enhance every dollar we have and use. The stewardship of that money and the stewardship of caring for their employees and the county we live in was a great learning tool.
The deadline to apply is February 24th, and class size is limited to just 25 participants. For more information, you can contact the Volusia County Manager's Office at 386-740-5160. And to get your application online, you can log on to volusia.org/citizensacademy.
Hi, I'm Volusia County Chair Frank Bruno, and you could be a hometown hero by helping the Ocean Center to attract conventions and trade shows. If you belong to a professional organization, we're asking you to bring a meeting home. Be a hometown hero and recommend the Ocean Center for your next meeting or convention. Call Lori Hunter at 386-254-4500 with your meeting tips.
The Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet is a gateway to the marine world in Volusia County, and recently the center underwent major renovations to make this sea life experience even more enjoyable. Joanne Magley has more in this week's Volusia Here and Now report.
For nearly 10 years, the Marine Science Center has helped thousands of sick or injured sea turtles and seabirds. And as Michael Brothers, manager of the Marine Science Center, explains, visitors are in for an even more enjoyable experience.
The Marine Science Center has undergone a wonderful transformation. It really begins from the ground up, so to speak, because we've completely redone the floors. They have been sanded and new polyurethane down that has just brightened up the entire facility. But really the most exciting parts have to do with the new exhibits.
Staff is currently working on new exhibits to educate visitors about the county's expansive artificial reef program. Future exhibits will include predator fish such as grouper and snapper, as well as a separate tank with smaller reef organisms and fish, all which make their home in the reef. One of the newest features of the Marine Science Center is the observation window, where you can actually watch turtles being worked on by the veterinarian and Marine Science Center staff. The observation window is a new opportunity for visitors to see a portion of the center that's never been available to the public before, with a chance to see the staff perform various procedures to make sure that turtles are healthy and are being nursed back to health.
We've really created a new exhibit, an opportunity to come into the Marine Science Center and then to open out through a new set of doors out onto our turtle viewing terrace. And from there you can look over the pools and have a chance to see the various sea turtles that we have in our rehabilitation setting.
Sharon Walter from Syracuse, New York, has been to the center more than a dozen times.
I love what they're doing here, trying to make the animals healthy again and studying them.
The center is also home to a number of unique aquariums, many of which have also undergone upgrades.
We've enlarged our tanks within one area that have, for example, we have moray eels. We have almost doubled the size of the moray eel tank. We've added a new seahorse tank.
Another recently added attraction is the 1,400-gallon touch pool, where you can actually touch sea creatures like stingrays or sea urchins. Special floating trays allow for the safe handling of smaller animals. And while the aquariums and turtles are a big draw for visitors, the Marine Science Center also rehabilitates seabirds. Since opening in 2004, the Mary Keller Seabird Rehabilitation Center has treated more than 8,000 birds.
There are birds, of course, that we're familiar with, brown pelicans and egrets and herons and hawks and owls and such. But we also have many other visitors that people probably don't even know exist. Birds of the open ocean that have the chance to migrate from all corners of the world to our offshore waters right here in Volusia County.
Birds from as far as the Arctic and even from the islands of Antarctica and the coast of Africa. These birds all meet here off the shores of Volusia County, and for some that may come into difficulties and wash ashore, they are brought to the Marine Science Center where they are nursed back to health and released. So how can your family witness a release?
The next major turtle release with some bird releases added to it is going to take place at Turtle Day. So Turtle Day will be on Saturday, April 21st, and we, of course, encourage all of your viewers to come out. It's a free day at the Marine Science Center.
And a release back into the wild is the goal for every creature treated at the Marine Science Center. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
For more information, visit marinesciencecenter.com. Many folks here in Volusia County are putting too much sodium in their everyday diet. Too much salt and sodium is unhealthy for you. Excessive salt intake has proven to be a major contributor to heart attack and stroke, the first and third leading causes of death in the United States. Health Department Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong takes a closer look at ways to control your sodium intake in this segment of Community Health Matters.
When you eat that next meal, pay attention to the sodium. You don't want too much. It can make you sick and cause health problems.
Sodium chloride, which is salt, can elevate one's blood pressure. And an elevated blood pressure leads to heart disease, stroke, and potential kidney damage. And those are the leading causes of death in this country. So it's very important for folks to be mindful of salt. We not only have salt in the salt shaker, but also hidden salt in our food. And we really should try to decrease the amount of salt in our diet down to 2,300 milligrams, which was really only about a teaspoon, to avoid high blood pressure and the consequences of high blood pressure.
Hi, I'm Lisa Funches, Nutrition Program Director at the Volusia County Health Department. Before you eat that next meal, you might want to ask yourself, where's the sodium? One way to find out where the sodium is located is to read your nutrition fact label, as most of the sodium that is found in food is found in processed foods or restaurant foods. Here are some helpful tips. Limit foods that have 20% or more of the daily value of sodium. These foods are high in sodium. Limit the number of meals at fast food restaurants. Limit frozen dinners that are high in sodium. And do not add salt to foods for babies. Do not give babies foods that are high in sodium. By following these healthy eating tips, you and your family too can stay healthy.
Thanks, Lisa. To eat healthy, remember, stay away from foods that are high in sodium. Follow these easy cooking tips when preparing your meals. Use fewer sauces, mixes, instant products, condiments, and salad dressings which have added salt. Buy the no salt added or reduced sodium version of foods. Buy fresh poultry, fish, and lean meat rather than smoked, cured, or processed types. And choose fruit or vegetables at snack time instead of those salty snack foods. Also, make sure you eat foods high in potassium. Potassium can help with blood pressure. Foods high in potassium include bananas, potatoes, cantaloupes, dried apricots, orange juice, prunes, prune juice, tomato products, dry beans, peas, and lentils, honeydew melon, dried peaches, and those green leafy vegetables. Making the right food choices will help to decrease the sodium in your meals and your family's meals. A key to healthy eating is choosing and preparing foods lower in salt and sodium. For more information, please visit www.cdc.gov. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Volusia County Health Department, your guide to better health, I'm Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can always log on to volusiahealth.com. And now let's join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, in the studio for an in-depth discussion with his studio guest, Sheriff Ben Johnson.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hello, everyone. In the aftermath of several serious accidents involving kids going to and from school, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office is joining with the Volusia County School Board and state and local officials in a multifaceted response in an effort to prevent students from being killed or seriously injured. Today we want to get the very latest on what is a very serious public safety subject, and our guest in the studio today is our Volusia County Sheriff, Ben Johnson. Ben, thanks for being with us today.
Dave, thank you for having me.
This is a serious subject. We've had 17 accidents involving kids going to and from school, and the latest, of course, a fatality down in Orange City. Boy, this tears at your hearts.
It's very serious, and what you don't realize is, or you may realize, this could be your own child.
Right.
Or you could be the driver of the vehicle that hurts or takes the life of another child. And either way, it's going to have great effect on you, but it's up to all of us to try to do something about it.
17 accidents, Ben, since the school season started this year and late this summer. That seems like an awful lot to me. I mean, what does it sound like to you? One's too many. I mean,
it is a lot. Yeah, no matter how many, it's too many. But this is a lot. I don't ever recall having something like this. And they've been spread out throughout the county.
Right.
And they've been spread out from the kind of accidents. Now, we're actually doing, after the meeting the other night, and it's something we had decided, I took this information to the meeting.
Right.
That one of the things we were going to do is analyze all these accidents to see, do we have any common threads? But from the surface, it doesn't really look like it. Some of them are bicycles. Some of them are pedestrians. Some of them are at intersections. Some of them are in the middle of the block. Some of them are turning the corners. Some of them on major highways. There doesn't look like there's any real correlation, but we're going to look at this to try to see, is there? We don't want to leave any stone unturned.
Right. And that's, you know, from what I've read, Sheriff, and you make an excellent point, from what I've read, there really is no common thread to this. It's not like a high rate of speed in every accident, or, you know, it seems like they're all over the map, which is going to make it even more difficult for you to respond, I would think.
Absolutely. But you have to look at a lot of things, and there are many things that we can do. But it's going to take us, it's going to take the county, it's going to take the cities,
right.
It's going to take the parents, it's going to take the students. So what we're looking at is an approach that we can take and hit a little bit of all of it. One
right.
is enforcement.
Right.
Enforcement for the parents and anybody who's driving in the school zones or anywhere near the school zones. For instance, when we were in Orange City the other day, I noticed parents sitting in pickup areas that weren't the pickup areas, sitting absolutely underneath no parking signs.
Wow.
Where the kids walk down and get in the car, now you have cars coming out in traffic, heavy
right.
traffic. You have kids that are, you know, being hidden by these cars. You see, we're looking at the traffic patterns down there. How can we make that smoother so people aren't rushing to try to get out,
right.
making it simpler so they can not have to, you know, they can see better, smoother traffic flows to protect the kids there. There's a lot of things in that aspect we're doing. enforcement of the kids themselves. We're going to try something we've never done before. We're going to start writing warning tickets to the kids and contacting their parents. We've never done that before. But here's a, stop, we're going to talk to the kid, here's what you're doing. Now, you get to tell mom and daddy about it. We're going to tell them about it.
This recent accident, Sheriff, down in Orange City, a 17-year-old, I believe he was a pedestrian going, I guess coming home from school, on 1792 through Orange City, which is a 4-lane road. It's an arterial road through there. How complicated does that make the situation when you have a lot of these schools in Volusia County that are around major arterial roads?
It's very complicated, and you have an area in here that there's not a lot of traffic lights, which doesn't help if kids have to cross. Are they going to walk 2 blocks down to a traffic light? Now, one of the things, and we've actually already sent a letter to the State Department of Transportation requesting that they put a speed zone, a school zone in there for morning and afternoon hours to bring the traffic down a little bit and to put the flashing lights in to alert people driving through there and remind them this is a school crossing, or this is a major crossing where you're going to have kids stepping out. I think that's very important. Break that speed limit down, and to give that visual warning to our children in the neighborhood.
You know, this was a very emotional meeting. I know you were down there, and you know, folks were very emotionally upset following this tragedy in Orange City. One of the things that comes up is crossing guards, and I know the county and yourself personally have made a big effort on crossing guards, but in many cases crossing guards wouldn't have made a difference in these accidents.
No, they wouldn't. And in today's budget issues, you just can't take and put crossing guards everywhere you'd like to. It's not that we don't want to. It's absolutely the financial impact. We can't do it. And people say, well, you know, this is children, but at the same token, we just don't have the money. But most of these accidents have not happened. And none of them happened in school crossings. Last year we had one that happened in a school zone, but it was before the zone opened up. The parent dropped the child across the street early in the morning instead of driving them into the parent pickup, and the child ran out in front of a car. And I can't impress enough that it may take you a few extra minutes. Take them through the school drop-off zones. That's set up for the safety of your children and the safety of other children.
You know, Ben, one of the other things that comes up a lot, and that is you know, more sidewalks, more street lights and that sort of thing. And of course, if you look at this from all of Volusia County's point of view, there are a lot of schools that are on roads where there are no sidewalks and there are no street lights. Heavens knows you can't go back and fix all of that at this point.
No, it's just financially impossible. Now the schools down there, there's only one small section of sidewalk that isn't in that area. And the county's working hard on that right now. There's some issues about property boundaries, and the residents are working with the county right now. We're trying to get something done to get that little piece of sidewalk put in there. Other than that, between Orange City and the county, there's quite a sidewalk system in the Orange City area. The county is actually exploring, from what I understand, because as a result of this meeting, about putting a few more street lights, overhead lights in that area for the people who go into school early in the morning. And it's something that's being explored, and the county wants to do everything, not just the sheriff's office. The county is in this as a partner. The school board's in this as a partner. Orange City is in it as a partner to try to do something about that general area. But we learn, when we do something like that, we learn in all the other areas and look at things. And some of the other areas, we've already been there to look at traffic patterns and see what we can do.
Sheriff, one of the things that is you know, relatively new phenomenon in the last 10 years, I guess, or so, is everyone now carries a cell phone. There's a lot of texting going on. People's lives are very, very busy. People are distracted. I mean, I would think that for motorists and for the kids actually themselves going to and from school, there are a lot of distractions these days.
There are, and this creates issues a lot of the time. Drivers texting. Or on cell phones, but especially texting. The other day when I was in the Orange City area looking to see what did we have there, I was watching the kids, and I'd see them walking down the street. For instance, one of them texting, he just walked right on across the street, and he was with another group, but he never looked up. And I stopped him and asked him, you texting? Well, he denied it, but we saw him texting. No, I'm looking at something, doesn't matter. He looked down the whole way across. He doesn't know, he's not aware of his surroundings of what may happen. I watched another young man talking on the cell phone, and he walked out into an intersection where a child was hit this year. And he he'd walk out and turn a circle and talk, and you know how they're just wandering around, and finally walked off down the road, and you know, he wasn't paying attention. You see them with the hoodies over their heads where it cuts their peripheral vision.
Right.
Dark clothing in the mornings. I mean, that's just an absolute danger. You know, it's tragedy in the making. So there's so many of these things, the distractions, and it is not illegal to text or to talk on a cell phone. You might end up with a careless driving or reckless driving because of your actions doing it.
Right.
And we really need people to start pushing our state legislators that texting while driving should be an absolute criminal offense or some kind of offense, a traffic offense at the very minimum. We do not need to be texting while driving. You're taking your eyes off the road way too long. That period of time, a child could be out there, another car could be out there, but we need to do something about that.
Well, and you were telling me before we started taping that you were down there watching the kids going to and from school, and there were kids that crossed, I guess, with a crossing guard, went down the street, and then recrossed the same street with no crossing guard, and then went back on the other side. I mean,
where there's a crossing guard at the next corner.
Exactly.
They cut right back across traffic. Traffic had to stop for them, and here it was. Like I said, they had crossed at a crossing guard down the street and crossed back again. And this is something parents need to take and start talking to their children and tell them what's acceptable and what's not.
Right.
You know, we can't do it all. I mean, a lot of times we're there just to pick up the pieces. We wanted to be able to do it all, but we can't.
Yeah, that was going to be my next thought, Ben, and that is that you know, you said at the beginning your office was working with city police, the state DOT, school board, all agencies of the county working together, but you really, really need the kids and their parents to do the right thing as well.
In order to successfully stop this problem, it has to be all of us.
Right.
The parents are a big part of it.
Right.
We're also we're doing public education on it.
Right.
We're having to develop a couple of different programs. One for your elementary school kids. You can't show them the same things you do a high school kid.
Right.
But public education to try to show them the dangers and what to do and what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it goes back to what can they get away with.
Right.
And what are the parents going to allow them to get away with? And the parents need to be a big part of the solution.
No question. Well, Sheriff, I want to thank you for sharing the information. Again, a very important subject, so we'll stay on top of it. Again, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Dave, and it's good to be able to try to get some information out, because what we're after, as I said just a moment ago, is the safety and security of our children.
Well said. And our guest today, Volusia County Sheriff Ben Johnson. I guess the message here is everyone just slow down and be extra careful, and we'll get through this hopefully the rest of the year without any more problems. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And we hope you don't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.